We are arguably the mining capital of the world. Why aren't we doing one of these conferences in our own backyard?
So how then does this mining conference stand out compared to other events and expos?
You know, we have the best networking events, including a fantastic gala evening with a core shack. You don't get to see that very often.
Hi everyone, I'm really excited today to be joined by Joanne Jobin, who is a seasoned professional in the mining industry with over 30 years experience in investor relations, corporate communications, and marketing. She has worked with a wide range of publicly listed mining companies, helping them enhance their visibility and strengthen investor engagement. Joanne is the founder of IR Inc., a specialized investor relations and corporate communications consultancy. Joanne is also the founder and CEO of the Mining Investment Event, where she connects industry leaders, professionals, and investors. Passionate about fostering the next generation of talent, Joanne actively supports programs that encourage young professionals to explore careers in mining. We're really excited to have Joanne with us today to share her insights into the Mining Investments Event and its impact on the industry. Welcome, Joanne.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I think we'll start off get straight into it.
Yep.
Could you give us a brief interview about the Mining Investments Event and why it's so important?
Well, I started this conference in 22, right after COVID, and it's been a lifelong dream of mine to actually start a conference and take the best of each conference that I've had the pleasure of visiting over 30 years. And you can imagine I've been to a lot of conferences. But the main driving force for me to start this was, junior companies would be, or senior companies or whatever, would be going to Colorado for conferences, and they would be going to London and all these different places. And my thought was always, why aren't we doing this in our own backyard? We are arguably the mining capital of the world. Now, you might get a little bit of pushback from the Australians when we say that, but, in North America, we are certainly the mining capital of the world. Why aren't we doing one of these conferences in our own backyard? And the more I spoke to people, bankers, investors, other mining companies about doing it, the more positive feedback I got. So we launched in 22. And since 22, we have actually grown the conference 150%. This year, in June, we had 16 of the billion-dollar market cap companies join us on stage, along with a host of mid-tiers and junior companies. One of the things that I really wanted to foster as well was, yes, have a prestige, inclusive or exclusive event, but let's try to be as inclusive as possible.
So how then does this mining conference stand out compared to other events and expos?
Well, we really are focused on investors. We have private one-on-one rooms for the mining companies to take private meetings in, and that is all arranged by our proprietary system. We are similar to what you would find at the Precious Metals Conference, but that is in Colorado, or the Denver Gold Group, or even at BMO. So the way that we kind of differentiate ourselves from some of our well-respected colleagues is that we are a private conference, but we run it like a banking conference, where you have a lot of networking events that are included. So, and it's very small and private.
And what are the most significant trends that you've observed in the mining sector, and how do you think that they're going to be addressed at this year's event?
Well, for sure, sustainability is top of mind. And in our second year, we actually introduced a student program where we bring in 50 students from all across Canada, and we give them the opportunity to work on a business case study and also connect with all the CEOs. And we have a job bank for them. Last year, we had two major sponsors, which was Glencore and also Osisko Mining. We expect that these sponsors will return this year. They were very happy with our programming. We're in conversations with them now to come back as sponsors for the students. And I think that is something that the mining industry is really struggling with, is the sustainability of talent. How do we bring young people in? Investors too, but how do we bring those young people in? Now, the markets are certainly much better than they were when we started in 22. The price of gold is skyrocketing. Critical metals has been a focus for many, many governments and companies. So I think that's how we differentiate ourselves. We do bring the governments in. We do give them platforms. We have round tables for them. So we try to be all things to all assets and all aspects of mining.
And are there any new elements or changes that are going to be introduced in this year's event?
Well, I think we really outdid ourselves last year. I mean, we elevated this conference quite a bit. So I think people can expect the same fantastic prestige conference that they were introduced to last year. And we'll have a few more tweaks and a few more improvements to what we did have. I do expect more growth this year. I can say that we are nearing sold-out status already. We have 97 companies, issuers confirmed so far. And we had 115 issuers last year. So I think we're going to be in a very good position in a very short time.
Are you able to disclose any of the companies that are?
I can say the big ones are returning, which is nice to see. We will be publishing our list in early October, so stay tuned.
And something actually I just wanted to touch upon before we started this, you were talking about how you're the founder of this event. Can you talk a bit more about what led you to say, I'm going to do this? How did you get it off the ground and running?
Oh, my goodness. That was a lot of anxiety, to be honest.
Okay.
When I made the decision that I was going to do it, I put my own money up to put this conference together, which, you're signing these big $200,000 and $300,000 contracts, not knowing if anybody's going to show up right after COVID. So yeah, we had a few sleepless nights to be honest. But our first year we had 47 companies and we had 300 delegates that came to the conference, and we could see that we did the right thing. The following year, we had 108 companies, and we had, I think it was 700. This year we had 115. We had more sponsors, and we had close to 900 delegates. So we're growing. And what I'm really proud of is our sponsor profile. Because when you look at the first year we started, we had 81 sponsors. Last year we had around 181, and this year we had 265 qualified investors. So we expect that profile to grow. And one thing that I really want to stress is that we will never have, for example, 260 companies and only 200 or 300 investors. We want to make sure that ratio benefits the issuers. So if we have, for example, this year, if we have 130 companies and we have 300 investors, that's a great ratio. Everybody's going to get the meetings that they want and need.
That's really, it's very inspiring. Crazy, and you got here.
Yes. And
Wow.
and I've had people say, well, how do you feel? Like, you're such a success. I'm like, no, the glass is always half full. It's never half empty, but it's only half full. We have lots of work still to do.
So how does this mining event facilitate collaboration and connection between attendees and particularly young professionals? I know you were mentioning the student program.
Our student program for sure is super important to us. We really want young professionals to come in and see what we're doing and collaborate. For me, on the collaboration side, I mean, I'm here today with Inversio. We started our relationship last year. A lot of our sponsors that are here, I always say to them, this is your conference as well. You know, we're in conversations with some pretty big banks and other big sponsors this year. So I think people are going to be really surprised by who comes to the table at the event next year.
I would love it if you could just...
Yeah,
you can't tell us.
I know.
How do you see this event evolving in the next few years? What is your 5-year goal? What would you like to see?
Oh, my goodness. Can I retire eventually?
Never.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. I have a couple of young people that I am tutoring, mentoring within my organization right now. And, you know, they're the next step up for me. So, you know, we have to bring these young people up, and I'm taking them on marketing trips, and I'm showing them what to do so that I can step back and, you know, maybe take the larger meetings, but the young people will know what to do and how to do it, right? Eventually, I want this conference, and it's well on its way now, but this is going to be one of the go-to conferences. Like, you know, like everybody has the Beaver Creek conference and the Denver conference or the BMO conference, for example. You know, if they're invited, it's on their books. This is going to be the same thing. We are going to be one of the pit stops on the conference circuit that you must go to, so that I won't have to work so hard to, you know, invite people and talk to people about why they should be here. All that hard work that we've done the past 4 to 5 years now, it should be, you know, it should be doing the work for us.
And what excites you personally about this upcoming event?
The fact that people are really recognizing that we are a global conference that actually happens to take place in Quebec City, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. So, you know, we're not a Quebec conference. We are, you know, obviously we do have a focus on Quebec, and they have a beautiful panel, and the Quebec government has been super supportive with us, and they're one of our biggest sponsors. But we've also got the Newfoundland government that's going to have a bigger presence this year. I'm going to Australia this year, so I would love to bring in an Australian delegation. I'm planning to go to the Middle East as well and do the same. So there's a lot of global action that's going to happen next year.
That's really exciting. And I think I'll ask you finally,
Yes.
for anyone who's watching this, who's thinking about wanting to participate in the event, know more about it, what is something that you would really like to impress upon them?
What I'd like to really say is that our conference offers you, you know, we have different tiers, but if you're a company that that's going to get a speaking slot, and you get your own personal one-on-one room, you're not running around to different places. It's very compact. It's very easy to get to. And, you know, we have the best networking events, including a fantastic gala evening with a core shack. You don't get to see that very often. So you get a lot of value add for your dollar. So you got to come. It's the place to be.
I will sign up
All
after
right.
this. Say less, I'm sold.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it.
Well, if you made it this far, you must be a real fan. So you better smash that like button, let us know what you think down below. And if you're not subscribed already, do that and turn on that little notification bell so you don't miss a single one of our videos. While you're at it, check out the last one. It was a real good one. And until next time, see ya.